So, Mr. Larsen, you've had a pretty lengthy career in Major League Baseball, but you are mainly known as a pitcher for the New York Yankees. If you can recollect as much as you can, what was it like when you found out that you were going to play for the New York Yankees?
Well, I got traded after a bad season with Baltimore. It was a pretty good feeling being with a club that was good as the Yankees then. And that was early. It was only my third year, and I was fortunate to be traded to them because they had a good ball club. I mean, very good. It was very comfortable being with them.
Now, before you pitched in the 1956 World Series, I do remember hearing that you pitched in a game in the 1955 World Series in your first year with the New York Yankees. So what was it like in general, just pitching in the World Series with the Yankees?
Oh, it's a thrill just to get in the World Series. You don't get a chance to do that too often, and I was lucky it was in 4 out of 5 with them. And then that wasn't the end yet. I was with the Giants, in the World Series against the Yankees. I really wanted to win that one for Horace Stoneham, the owner of the Giants then. We had a good ball club. Then I got traded, bounced around a little bit. I played 9, 10 more years after that.
And so there are a number of questions that I do want to ask you about what happened on October 8th, 1956. Recollect as much as you can from basically when
I can't tell you all that crap.
Basically when you found out that you were going to be starting, and then as much as you can, what was going through your mind from out number 1 to out number 27 in that game as much as you can.
Well, I didn't know I was going to start the game until I got to the ballpark. Because I did a crappy job in game 2. I was ahead 6-0, and we ended up blowing the game. That wasn't a good feeling. And I didn't know I was going to start, like I said. I was glad that Casey felt that he'd trust me again. And I said to myself when I found out I was going to pitch, that don't screw this one up. That's all how I felt, and it worked out in the end good for everybody.
Okay, so now that your career is over, today you are living in northern Idaho, actually. So what drew you to live up there today?
California got too busy for us, and I wanted to find a good spot for go fishing. And we did, and we've enjoyed it very much there. It's a busy place, growing area too now, near Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, which is a resort area. But it's nice country, like all the Northwest is. I enjoy it here.
And
Excuse me.
there was also a point in time when you were attending high school in California that not only did you play baseball, but you were a decent basketball player as well. So much so that there were schools that were accepting you as a basketball player. So at the end, what drew you to play baseball?
Well, I had 2 scholarships. I was a better basketball player than I was baseball in school. I had a scholarship to St. Mary's and a scholarship to Oregon. I chose baseball because I wasn't a good student, and I knew I wouldn't have lasted. Even the career would have been decent in basketball. I don't know. I think I made the right choice. Took a little longer, but I was happy, and I worked hard at it, and the effort that I gave into it paid off.
And so the final question I have is actually about how your professional baseball career started, because that we are at a minor league ballpark. You started playing minor league baseball in South Dakota at the age of 17. So what was it like traveling from California to South Dakota as a teenager playing baseball?
First of all, it was a long train ride forever. I got there, nobody was there to meet me, so I took my luggage and walked to the hotel and slept overnight there. I went to the ballpark next day, paid my admission into the park, and met the manager, and then he asked me, where you been? And that was sort of pissed me off because I didn't know where I was going until I finally got there, and then treated like that, But it worked out rather well. bounced around a little bit in the minors, and then I got drafted in the service. Spent a couple of years, good years in Hawaii. I was training troops over there and got to a special service outfit where we played ball. They had a good league over there. A couple of big leaguers played with us, and we played against a couple of good players over there because Hawaii was nice after we got settled and familiar with where we were at, too. And we got paid a little extra because Hawaii wasn't a state then. We got paid about $25, $30 extra. So I had an allotment sent home to my mother, to help her out while I was gone for a couple of years. And then when I got out of the service, I got invited to the St. Louis Browns spring training camp, which was then in San Bernardino, California, not too far from where I was living, San Diego. So it was a pretty easy trip for me. An adjustment, yes, from the service into big league ball. And I played, with Satchel Paige, Bob Elliott, Virgil Trucks, a lot of pretty good players. And I was a kid, and I listened to everything. I needed all the help I could get. I got it, because they were all good guys and trying to help the rookies. I wasn't the only rookie. We had Tommy Lasorda with us. But in those days, Bill Vick didn't have a lot of money, and the owners didn't care for what he did, the showmanship. He tried to give something back to the fans, and I like Mr. Vick and associates, okay? It was hard, and I asked for everything, and I got all the good advice I could possibly get. I just had to try to adapt that to my ability. So everything eventually worked out pretty well, except for I had a good and bad years, but them being traded for the Yankees helped a lot because being with a better ball club, and I think you play better when you good players. You aren't going to sleep all the time. You're trying and you do your best and more. So it did work out pretty darn good for me.